Good morning, everybody. So, well, yesterday was a go nowhere day, pretty much for the markets, and waiting for more economics. The Fed, of course, tomorrow, big anticipation, 2 o'clock, and then whatever the chair is going to say. But at the end of last week, well, the beginning of last week, and then we talked, saw this big drop and prices came to support. We look to the left, see that there's all that congestion there. And one of my comments was, okay, now if it goes sideways down here and it doesn't lift up, it opens up the door to a significant drop. As we look at price action and we see a sharp drop like that, well, a few things. We know it's a wide range bar in a smaller time frame. When we talk about wide range bars, we'll say, okay, the middle of the bar, it should stay in the bottom and the middle of the bar if that's strong. Same way this was a wide range bar in a green wide range bar in a higher time frame. So it stay in the middle of the bar, go higher. We look to the left. Is that a reasonable thought with the up bar? And it was kind of mixed, meaning it came up to the top of the trading range. We're looking at the 10-year note here. And so staying at the top or in the middle of the wide range bar, buyers keep coming in, it could break out. Well, it went all the way back down. No flip-flop, stay now in the bottom of the wide range bar, and maybe it'll break the support. Well, it's lifting up here this morning. So interest rates are going up here, money coming out of bonds. And, well, how does it get past the middle? In addition, and not that we trade gasoline, but I thought it was interesting because I happened to look at it because, oil has been starting to move up. Now, typically what happens is this leads the way, but what we see happening here is that gasoline is ripping higher. Now, look at how it's accelerated higher. So it may stall here, but just like we'd look at any chart, stock, commodity, whatever, it cleared all of these pivot highs and looks like it's headed toward $80 or more. And so with that in mind, we get these economic reports, and I forget which one of them, I forget what they call it, have different ones to massage the data the way they want, but one of them excludes energy and food. And so as that number comes out, we'll want to see the one that doesn't exclude energy and food. And so, well, Alex, the conversation here is more toward inflation, not trading it, but the price of gasoline at the pump is going up. And, I happened to look, why is the price of gasoline going up? And I couldn't find anything, and anybody wrote about it but they're saying is that demand is unusually low, and they relate that toward the heat and people just not wanting, I guess, to drive too much or drive going on vacation and what have you. But the price at the pump, wherever you're paying, wherever you are, is going to increase quite a bit. That's a pretty sharp move in a relatively short period of time. So we'll see how that plays out. But this is something that may have some influence in the next week or 2 weeks, and we'll see how far this goes as to how it affects the markets and whatever comments come out from the Fed related to if they don't comment on this and inflation and so on. All right, what's happening right now? Well, yesterday, not much of anything happened. Because prices have barely moved in the last 4 days, other than that gap down, gap up, gap down, and going nowhere. So this is creating a little shelf there to either move up or move down. And, we wait. Probably, I'm guessing not much of anything is going to happen today either to move things. Economic reports coming. Well, something just came out at 10 o'clock is CB consumer confidence. And there's another one, Fed manufacturing index. There's some things at 10 o'clock. So maybe a mover, not sure if those are market movers or not, but you always got to check economic news that's coming as to possible market movers. So going nowhere here. And whatever earnings have come out pre-market, they're not moving the markets at all. So we're just pretty much unchanged. You can see the bottom chart is 24 hours. It was higher. So looks like a little bit of selling on any little minor rallies, and got the door a little opened up to moving down. Nothing all that significantly at all. So choppy price action here. And looking at the futures, just consolidating. And what this suggests to me, and thinking about news that's coming, is the potential for maybe a short move, and certainly potentially a whipsaw on the news, because things are so tight. Now, as prices have moved up and consolidating above this area, which was a little resistance area, and it's consolidating above it, that if whatever the positive news could be, it could be moving substantially. Well, just relative to this lack of movement here. It's at this resistance area, looking at the weekly chart, but because it's just consolidating, going nowhere here, you would think in an uptrend it could move up, a decent amount. And if it breaks below here, I think it would break below this level and maybe go through the 20 MA. And so we just have to wait to see if things are going to get moving one way or another, because it's just not happening right now. But I don't like the fact that it's right at this pivot high, but because it's consolidating, again, if buyers step up, as they should within an uptrend like that, it should slice through it basically like it's not there. So right now prices are pulling back a little bit inside yesterday's range. So things are just playing ping pong off of little support and resistance areas, which leads us to SPX and expectation, and the same, lack of any significant movement. The downside is relatively close. It's on this support, and it's really not a comfortable thing, but many of these haven't been comfortable levels lately since things have tightened up, and but they've been working out. And the upside, I would say they're not getting up there today. It's of course a thought, not a fact. I don't think it'll get up there today. But the premium level rose from yesterday, which is interesting. There was quite a bit of call buying versus put buying intraday, and it didn't get the markets moving at all. But it seems the consensus is more that this is going to go up. And by the way, we did a little poll in the green room, of those on the social media there. What was the belief as to whether the spiders would close above or below a level? I think it was, what was it, Sam? 458.18 or something. I can't remember what it was exactly, but 75% said it would close above. And from a contrarian point of view, it's like, 75% think it's going to go higher. Odds are it's not. No, it could, of course, but when the majority say, hey, you know what, it's going to go up, an overwhelming majority think it's going to go up. I think, well, maybe not, but we'll see what happens. And it was by Friday, by the way, not on the Fed news. All right. Q's pulling back, relative weakness. They're up here a little bit. So we've been looking for some kind of pullback. The S&Ps have been holding steady while there's some corrective price action. Financials have been strong, and that's holding the S&Ps up. Tech has been weak, and so the Qs have been pulling back, and they're almost to a point where you would think it's going to make a turn. Some stocks we looked at yesterday were in that area. You can cover one or two, but this is pulling back to minor support and a rising 20 MA. Buyers should emerge in this area. Tomorrow, FOMC at 2:00, and then at 2:30, the Fed chair will give his overview. So the 2:00 number should produce nothing more than a typical whipsaw that often happens as the hedges just move it back and forth, because it says there's 99% chance they're going to do a quarter point. So the surprise would be that they do nothing, right? But I don't think that's going to happen. So this pulling back to support here, we look for buyers to begin to step up, right? We look to the left. The moving average is aligned with that. There's an unfilled gap here where a little buying came in ahead of that, and not doing much here. And I much prefer, well, there's news tomorrow, but the ideal scenario is that this forms a reversal day tomorrow, right? The news is out of the way. Prices, maybe they tag the 20 MA, and you have a second bar, meaning as this comes down, the ideal pattern is to have 2, sometimes 3 bars at the minor support level, and then prices lift up. It builds a little support shelf, and then prices lift up off of there. This type of pattern, taking out today's high as a buy setup, is not the best. Yeah, not the best. And this is what I'm talking about. These are the futures. I think they come down with a wide range bar. Here's the line in the middle, give or take, of that range. And you can see the pivot high here, and it's just flip-flopping back and forth. So not an attractive pattern, meaning a pullback, consolidating at minor support, but it started lower with a wide range bar, an igniting bar. Russell, on support. You can see some selling into rallies. That's why it's got topping tails there. You look to the left on the higher time frame, makes sense why that's happening. And not a great setup either. Right? Ideally, pulling back a little bit further, even if it came down here toward the 20. The deeper it pulls back, the more potential it has to move up. So not as good a scenario as it was previously when it was in the middle of the range. YM is up against this major resistance area here. It is short-term extended. Yesterday was a better performance day relative to the others, but bit of a range expansion bar. Now, what's the but about? Well, the but is that once you get a range expansion bar, that becomes a significant support level that shouldn't be violated. You had 2 days where the closing price was relatively the same, and then it opens up there and it goes up. Okay, bullish trend. It's a little extended. It could become more extended, but now that this closed relatively decisively near the high of the day, it better not break that low. You got 3 bars and around the same area, and you can see this congestion here. So I don't know if I can I put that? Yeah, I put that everywhere. Look, you can see how significant that is when you look at it from a intraday time frame, all of that congestion right there. So if it breaks that, it opens up the door to moving sharply lower. So not that we know it's going to move there, but you should set an alert there. Pay attention. All right, other things. Dollars moving up into, between here could be a sell zone area in between those moving averages and this what now is minor resistance. That's been in a trading range, as you can see on the weekly time frame. And we already looked at oil. Oh, Bitcoin yesterday we talked about that cracked lower. So this might be forming a 1-2-3. It's got this void below. Pretty much a mess for now. And internals are not near bullish area yet, Robert. So they're really not telling us much. I don't know if silver's going to, I wouldn't mess with silver and gold here ahead of this Fed announcement. They're not good patterns anyway. Here's the internal sentiment is still up here, and breadth, as this goes sideways, breadth begins to back off. So, we got the heads up a week ago that said, hey, be careful. And we've seen accidents happening. What are accidents? A lot of stocks that are having nasty cracks to the downside, even though the markets are holding up. So all yours, Dan.
Good morning. Ton of earnings. So even though the market might be doing nothing, we never have a shortage of ideas. So let's just jump right to a number of things here. My Disney alarm went off. And this was a short idea, little bear flag there within a WRB breakdown. Roger in the green room yesterday was I think he did a half lot under 87, anticipating deterioration. So he's getting paid for that early entry. ASO, Greg found this yesterday. It's a beautiful. I mean, every chart we look at, so many concepts. We could spend an hour just putting your hand in the jar and pulling out a stock, and we could spend a whole MT live hour on this. I mean, look at this. It all started with this breakout failure, failed to bounce, beautiful double bottom, igniting 1, 2, 3, bullish price action. Now we got a buy setup on support. So over the high, that's good to go. All right, let me go up to earnings here. Look at all these. And I already went through and deleted a bunch of them just because we're going to have too many. I don't have enough time. And a number of these weren't moving when I looked at them earlier. CDNS 231. It's in an uptrend. We'll see if buyers. So I use the term tier 1 if it's like ready to go. And then I put it in a 5-minute thumbnail. And if I don't see anything exciting, then I say, well, we'll come back to you in 30 minutes, or I just delete you because I don't think you're going to set up. And I got plenty of other stuff to watch. All right, CCK. So see, here's one. I don't know where it's gapping, but it's bullish daily, weekly, monthly. So I'll leave it on the list. FFIV. This was a beautiful pattern. We said in the green room yesterday that if it opened flat or slightly up or slightly down, actually, if it could get over this red bar, then it'd be a beautiful red bar ignored breakout. And now the gap's too big. So I'm going to delete that because I don't know what to do with it. Whirlpool down a little bit, not much. Oh, this is the one we actually had a short strangle on. intending to hold over earnings, but we had a nice gain yesterday, so we took it out. So look, 130, we had 130 and like, I forget, 16, whatever it was so wide away. And we would have made more money in retrospect had we held it. But 148, it's gapping under this. How's a void? I mean, it could go down to these prior lows. Yeah, LU. Somebody in the green room gave me a couple stocks that were in the K-Web, and this was one of them. Yeah, Patrick. So yes, I like LU a lot as a bottoming pattern, daily, weekly, monthly. And I actually was bidding for it overnight. I was bidding 165. I did not get filled. But yeah, I like it. All right, mid P. Strong uptrend. I don't see. Well. All right. It's showing it's gapping down $22. But I don't see any prints. If it is gapping here to 2.25, that's a nasty gap, but it's a big one. RRC. Now this is another similar one that I said about FFIV in the sense of it's gapping down a little bit, but if it can now trade over today's Tuesday, over Friday's high, then I love it. Because then it's a continuation breakout, bullish 1, 2, 3 on the weekly, and bullish monthly. So I have an alarm at 30.25 on that. Hexel, this was a bearish close. I had an alarm at 74.50, which went off on this print down here. But now, if it really is gapping there, it's too gap's too big for me. 116. Yeah, that ain't bad. Is that earnings, I'm assuming? Yeah, I like it. I'll put it in this middle window here. RLI. This, I don't see any gap, and it's light volume. It does have a void though. We'll come back to you. AGNC. This was another one that I said if it opened flat, then yesterday's high would be a long. Daily, weekly, monthly are all bullish. Oh, this is one actually I bought. I bought a couple 10.5 calls, but it's gapping down a little. Katie, it's bullish consolidation after breakout. I don't see any gap. Yeah, see a lot of these still don't have any volume. I don't see any pre-market prints, so I just don't trust them unless there's a liquid pattern. So I see one print up here, but it's nothing. There's a little buy setup. If it opens flat, I like that as a continuation, maybe up to 45 bucks. MXGN, I call this a sloppy buy setup. You know, came down kind of hard, gapping up, too big though. So it's gapping up as a new pivot high. So forget that. All right, Whirlpool. We already looked at Whirlpool, didn't we? Corning, 32 and change. It's down a lot though, so I don't know what to do with that. Yeah, we'll get to it. It's on the list. On DHR, 245. There's a lot of bulls in these two bars that are not happy right now. That's a nasty gap in the WRB. Verizon up a little bit. I mean, this Verizon and AT&T were beautiful examples of wide range ending. RTX, yeah, wow, that's ugly. That is an ugly gap. Wow, I was actually even considering a condor on this yesterday, but there was no juice. So the people who bought puts obviously are have a home run gain right now. Really. GE, Gap's too big for me, but this is another example. Another example of a red bar ignored. If it opened flat or up a little bit, that would have been a great continuation pattern, but gap's too big for me. Sherwin was another one I said in the green room. If this opens flat or up or down a little bit, buy Friday's high. That's a beautiful continuation bar. Well, I mean, I mean, you watch it. If it sets up, I'll be happy to look at it. I just got too much to look at. MCO. Can't tell where you're gapping, but you're up too much. So it's going to delete you. Triple M up a little bit. I mean, it'd be a put spread. I actually did look for a put spread idea under this WRB. I just had HENC alarm go off. Oh, there, I had an alarm at 10:30. Oh, this is the one I had long calls. So I better put this in a little window. HENC, just so I can monitor. General Motors was up this morning. Look at that. That's a crazy little whip now. So it's gapping under this red bar. That would be a call spread and maybe 30-minute low, but it's fallen a lot here in a short time. KMB, no pattern. MSCI, I don't see a gap. Bib. It's gapping up, but this would have been a good pattern that where I said if it opened flat, short last week's low, but the gap is now messing that up. Spot. No, we did a put spread on spot yesterday. It's gapping down here a lot. But we did the 140s, $5 wide, 50 cents. So I'll obviously be monitoring that at the open. We still have $11 of cushion. And a 30-minute high would be an add idea as a new trade, add or new. Dove down one. That's an ugly gap. Hub. Strong uptrend. It's a long watch. 30-minute high, maybe. PHM. I said that I favored call spreads. You know, this sector got cracked all at the same time last Thursday. Yeah, there's your Lima whiskey. True. Under yesterday's low could be a call spread idea. ABY down 170, down a lot, nothing to do. ACI. No pattern. Wait a second. RRC alarm. This is one that I said red bar ignored. So let's watch that 5-10 minutes. Lima whiskey here. See, it's slopping around. All right, these are some leftovers from yesterday. BBY. Nice 180 reversal breakout. Okay. I don't remember that one being on my earnings list, so I wonder what's causing that. Wow. Yeah, we were, you know what, Alex? You know, after I went to sleep, I was like, because I posted that C-Web or yeah, right here, C-Web, I posted a put spread in Telegram. And I said over the closing price. So now the gap's messing it up for me. All right, this Disney. Disney looks horrible. So let's, I think we were buying puts on it. Let's see if we can get a bounce. Redfin up alarm, that's a core trade of ours. AJG from yesterday. That was a Barron's thing. All right, so a Mitch alarm. That was Greg, your list. Nice
Yeah.
should seem that
It,
base.
Snap is on its rising 20. Was that what to report earnings after
Uh,
the close?
Yeah, we sold, yeah, $10 puts yesterday. Well, $1.50 wide or whatever it was. But yeah, this mix looks good over yesterday's high. Let's put spot. I can't forget about you. We're actually we're break even right now in spot. Let's kill it just because of the uncertainty. And if we get another sell-off,